And we're back tonight with more local news. The Consumer Council has found that infant formula sold at individual pharmacies vary greatly in price. The difference can be up to $100 for the same brand. Stephanie Cho reports.
Between the 3rd and 14th of this month, the Consumer Council looked into the supply and prices of popular infant formula brands in 10 districts across Hong Kong. The study found Mead Johnson had the highest number of shortages overall, with more than 90% of retailers out of stock in Sheng Shui. Cow and Gate milk powder was also short over there. It found the lowest supply of Friso infant formula in North Point in Tsuen Wan and Wyeth in Yuen Long. The study also found retail prices in chain stores were the same as last year's, but prices varied among smaller pharmacies. According to the study, the most expensive milk powder was found at a drugstore here in North Point. At $380 a tin, the Mead Johnson formula cost about 30% more than the recommended retail price. Another brand sold for $300 a tin at a drugstore in Tuen Mun, but cost only $230 in Hong Kong. While the Consumer Council thinks the limit imposed by the government on the amount of milk powder that can be carried by travellers out of Hong Kong is effective for now, it says the ultimate solution is ensuring the supply of infant formula.
We think it is still necessary at this point, okay? No, but until the supply is fully addressed, the issues of the supply is totally solved. So then I think we could lift up the restriction limitation.
The Consumer Council adds it will punish the unscrupulous retailers accordingly. It may issue verbal warnings and, in the more serious cases, it may call for the supply of milk powder to those retailers to be cut off temporarily or for good. Stephanie Choi, TVB News.
The Buildings Department has come under fire from the Ombudsman for being too slow when handling some of the cases of unauthorised building works involving public figures. The Ombudsman cited cases that took the department more than a year to initiate enforcement actions. Rani Samtani with the story.
From mid-2011 to December 2013, a number of government officials and lawmakers were found to have unauthorised building works at their homes. The Buildings Department gave priority to these cases and adopted special procedures to deal with them so that it could make progress reports to the media as soon as possible. The Ombudsman scrutinized 15 relatively serious cases involving public figures. Investigations found that in most cases, the Buildings Department was able to conduct a site inspection within a few days. Only in one case was the inspection delayed by 10 days. Regarding enforcement actions, the Ombudsman criticized the department for being too slow in issuing advisory letters and removal orders.
We found that the building department appears to be too slow very often in taking enforcement actions against unauthorized building work cases. The delay may be up to several months or even years.
In 2 cases, no advisory letters were issued more than 6 months after confirmation of the unauthorized structures. In 6 cases, no statutory orders were issued over 1 year after the advisory letters expired. And warning letters were not issued to owners in 2 cases until more than 6 months after the statutory orders expired. The department also took 8 months to prosecute an owner after issuing a warning letter. But the Ombudsman found no evidence suggesting that preferential treatment was given to celebrities and public figures. The Buildings Department explained that delays occurred because of a lack of resources and heavy workloads. 17 cases of unauthorized building works involving public figures are still in progress. The Ombudsman said to ensure the integrity of the Buildings Department, it must devise a better system to speed up the process of handling such cases. Rani Samtani, TVB News.
Students applying for financial help may be at risk of having their and their families' private information leaked. The Office of the Privacy Commissioner for Personal Data has urged the Student Financial Assistance Agency to step up its protection of applicants' data. From scholarships to transport and textbook allowances, the Student Financial Assistance Agency handles more than 960,000 applications every year. These applicants have to give out a lot of sensitive personal data, including bank account details, which is outsourced to a data prep contractor for data entry. But does the agency know how well the contractor is protecting this information?
Even though SFAA has got very stringent contractual terms in place to govern the relationship with the contractor, In fact, they haven't actually enforced those terms. They haven't inspected that everything that the contractor has been doing is according to the contract. We would say that there is a risk.
Chang said the agency should set guidelines on how inspections are carried out and documented. For example, it doesn't know if the contractor has completely erased all the data after processing it. Of all the data collected, 35 types are kept as permanent records by the agency. This includes the students' information as well as their family members' names, ID numbers and birth dates. And the Commissioner found that backup tapes of the information are stored outside of the agency without encryption. This means the data can be directly accessed if someone gets their hands on the files. The Commissioner recommended the agency make the stored data more anonymous and encrypt the files as well. It said the agency hasn't violated any laws, but pointed out it needs to do better when so many people have entrusted their private information in its hands. The Estate Agents Authority admits that property market cooling measures may be resulting in estate agents violating industry regulations as they adopt more aggressive sales strategies. The regulator's chairwoman, Vivian Chan, admits that cases of agents granting loans to first-hand property buyers could be widespread. And as Joao da Silva reports, that's in breach of industry regulations.
A 44% spike in the number of substantiated complaints against estate agents over the last year compared with 2012 could be related to the government's property market cooling measures.
It could be. It could be. It is very difficult to us to be definitive about it. Of course, when the market sentiment is not good, as a salesman, as every salesman, and it's quite understandable, we'll have to try a little bit harder. And what we're here to do is to make sure that in the efforts of trying harder, they don't fall foul of the regulation.
Some of the most commonly received complaints include agents failing to enter into estate agency agreements with clients or failing to explain such agreements, providing misleading property information pertaining to its area, conditions or mortgage application, failing to explain the provisional sales agreement, and failing to conduct a land search or provide a copy of the land search. In one of its covered operations, the authority caught an estate agent granting loans to prospective buyers of first-hand residential properties, a practice that constitutes a breach of the authority's guidelines. And this transgression, too, could well be happening more often.
I think it's a very popular means. I don't have statistics. I'm sure it's quite widespread.
The regulator notes that a new scheme for disciplinary cases has come into effect in the first day of the year, which should help raise the industry standards. It has also pledged to step up enforcement and educational actions in order to raise estate agents' compliance with regulations. Joao da Silva, TVB News.
All right, Tony, you've got some exciting information on tennis.
That's right. We've got China's #1 tennis star rising all the way to the top. Two-time Australian Open runner-up Li Na is back in the women's final in Melbourne. Li took advantage of a wide-open draw and had no trouble with Canada's rising star Eugenie Bouchard. Here's Jameson Wong.
China's Li Na is hoping the third time is the charm as she advanced to another final down under. Li ended the run of 19-year-old Eugenie Bouchard of Canada 6-2, 6-4. Li, a runner-up last year, will play Dominika Sublikova of Slovakia in Saturday's women's final. Sublikova will be making her first appearance in a Grand Slam final after dominating Agnieszka Radwanska 6-1, 6-2. Li has beaten Sublikova the 4 times they've played. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
Well, Sunderland is headed to the English League Cup final after beating Manchester United on penalties 2-1 after the 2 legs ended 3-3. As Jameson Wong shows us, it's looking more and more like United will end up trophyless in David Moyes' first season in charge.
Teenage sensation Adnan Januzaj was both hero and GOAT in United's loss to Sunderland at Old Trafford. Januzaj with the corner and Johnny Evans with the goal, 1-0 Man U. And with the tie knotted at 1-1 on aggregate, David De Gea with an absolute laugher in the 119th minute. The Black Cats just seconds away from Wembley.
Came to Fletcher.
But Januzaj sent the match to penalty kicks, picking out Javier Hernandez in front of goal. The celebration, though, wouldn't last long. Manchester United converted only one kick. Yana's eyes was saved by Vito Mannoni, who would do the same to Raphael's effort.
Level again. Raphael.
Sunderland into the League Cup final on March 2nd against Manchester City. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
Finally for tonight, a South African mining company says it's found a rare blue diamond. The 29.6 carat diamond came from Petra Diamonds' Cullinan mine, a source for many of the world's most famous gems. The company's CEO wouldn't speculate on a value, but he did reveal that a polished 25.5 carat blue diamond sold for $16.9 million last week. He added this stone is 4 carats bigger and of higher quality. That's the news for tonight. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Good evening. The weather was fine today, and as tonight's situation chart shows, the winter monsoon now affecting southern China is moderating gradually. Today's temperatures ranged from 11.6 to 15.8 degrees, and the relative humidity was between 54 and 82%. Moderate eastern northeasterly winds. The current temperature is now 13 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity standing at 65%. The fire danger warning is yellow and the fire risk is high. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow?
Oh. Ah.
It will be cloudy overnight, sunny periods during the day. Temperatures will range between 13 and 19 degrees. Temperatures will rise in the next couple of days. Tomorrow's air quality health index is forecast at low to high. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 4. And here's the latest global weather update. Sunny in Shanghai and Taipei. Cloudy in Guangzhou, bright in Macau, cloudy in Chengdu. Cloudy in Beijing and Seoul, bright in Tokyo. Sunny in Ho Chi Minh City and Manila. Showers in Kuala Lumpur, rain in Jakarta. Sunny in Karachi, thunderstorms in Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo. Showers in Brisbane, rain in Sydney and Melbourne. Cloudy in Toronto. Sunny in Vancouver and San Francisco. Cloudy in Amsterdam and Frankfurt. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.